For decades, the social contract was simple. You give a corporation 40 hours of your week, 50 weeks of your year, and the best decades of your life. In exchange, they give you stability. They give you a salary, a title, health insurance, and if you play your cards right, a modest pension and a gold watch at the end of the road. That was the deal. It was the foundation of the American middle class. But if you are watching this, you know that deal is broken. In fact, it has been broken for a long time, but we are only just now attending the funeral. We are standing at the precipice of a radical transformation in how human beings trade value for money. By the year 2026, the concept of the full-time employee as the default setting for professional life will be looked back upon as an archaic inefficiency. We are moving from the era of the job to the era of the portfolio. This is the death of the 9-to-5 mindset and the birth of the fractional career economy. To understand where we are going, we have to be brutally honest about where we are. The traditional employment model was built for the industrial age. It relied on physical presence and standardized output. But today, we live in an outcome economy. The unspoken truth of the modern corporate world is that a salary is actually a drug. It is a monthly dosage of comfort designed to make you forget your dreams. But more dangerously, it is a false sense of security. We have been conditioned to believe that having one job is safe and having 5 clients is risky. But let's look at the mathematics of that. If you have one employer, you have a single point of failure. One merger, one budget cut, one bad quarter, or one algorithm change, and 100% of your income vanishes overnight. That is not security. That is extreme fragility masquerading as safety. In the fractional economy, you diversify that risk. If you have 5 clients and lose one, you lose 20% of your income. It stings, but it is not fatal. You are in diversified asset class, not a dependent. So what does the landscape look like in 2026? By 2026, the rigid binary of employed versus unemployed will effectively dissolve for high-value knowledge workers. We are seeing the rise of the fractional executive and the fractional professional. This isn't just gig work. We aren't talking about driving for Uber or doing $5 tasks on freelance platforms. We are talking about highly skilled professionals, marketing directors, CFOs, software architects, HR strategists, who no longer belong to a single company. Instead of one company owning 100% of your time for a flat fee, 4 companies will subscribe to 25% of your expertise for a premium. Why is this happening now? Why is 2026 the tipping point? It comes down to the convergence of 3 massive forces: economic pressure, artificial intelligence, and the remote work infrastructure. Let's talk about the economic pressure. Companies are realizing that the cost of full-time headcount is unsustainable. Benefits, onboarding, severance, office space, and the sheer administrative burden of full-time staff are massive liabilities. In a volatile market, agility is the only currency that matters. Companies need access to elite talent, but they might not need that talent 40 hours a week forever. They need a sniper, not an infantry battalion. They want to rent your brain for the specific problem you solve, not own your time for the hours you fill. Then there is artificial intelligence. AI is decimating the middle tier of white-collar mediocrity. If a job consists of repetitive administrative tasks, data entry, or basic synthesis, it is gone. What remains is high-level strategy, complex problem-solving, and human relationship management. These are high-value skills, and high-value skills are too expensive for most companies to hoard. They will have to share them. This democratizes access to talent. A startup in 2026 can't afford a $300,000 chief technology officer, but they can afford a fractional CTO for $5,000 a month to steer the ship one day a week. This shift requires a fundamental rewiring of your brain. You have to kill the employee mindset. The employee mindset asks, "What do you want me to do today, boss?" It waits for instructions. It seeks permission. It views time as the metric of value. The fractional mindset is different. It is the mindset of a business of one. You are no longer a worker. You are a service provider. You are a consultant. You are a product. Navigating this transition requires you to master 3 specific pillars: productization, pipeline, and performance. First, productization. In the 9-to-5 world, you have a job title. I am a senior analyst. That means nothing in the fractional economy. In 2026, you must solve a specific, expensive problem. You have to package your skills as a product. You don't sell marketing services. You sell a 90-day system to double lead generation for B2B SaaS companies. Do you see the difference? One is a vague role. The other is a deliverable outcome. You must narrow your focus to broaden your appeal. Generalists will struggle. Specialists will thrive. You need to become the person who is known for fixing one specific thing. Second is pipeline. This is the part that scares people the most. In a job, work lands on your desk. In a fractional career, you have to hunt. You are now the head of sales for the business of you. This means building a personal brand, not as an influencer, but as an authority. By 2026, your resume will be irrelevant. Your digital footprint will be your resume. Your LinkedIn content, your portfolio, your newsletters, these are the assets that prove your competence before you ever walk into the room. If you are invisible, you are unemployed. You must get comfortable with the idea that you are always interviewing, but the dynamic has flipped. You aren't begging for a job. You are qualifying potential clients to see if they are a fit for your services. The third pillar is performance. In the corporate world, you can hide. We all know people who do about 2 hours of real work a day and spend the rest appearing busy. That ends here. In the fractional economy, there is nowhere to hide. You are paid for results, not attendance. If you are on a retainer to deliver a strategy and you deliver it in 3 hours, you are paid for the value, not the 3 hours. This is the ultimate leverage. It decouples your income from your time, but it demands excellence. You have to be good. You have to be ruthless with your time management and your ability to execute without supervision. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the psychological toll. Leaving the 9 to 5 is an identity crisis waiting to happen. For years, when someone asked you, "What do?" you answered with your job title and your employer. "I'm a project manager at Google." When you strip that away, who are you? In the fractional economy, you have to source your identity from your craft, not your employer. You are not defined by who pays you. You are defined by the value you create. This requires a level of emotional maturity and self-reliance that the corporate world often suppresses. You also have to become your own chief financial officer. The steady paycheck is replaced by variable income. In 2026, financial literacy isn't optional. You need to understand taxes, cash flow management, and how to price your services to account for the lack of paid vacation and health benefits. You have to build your own safety net because the corporate net is gone. But here's the beautiful upside that makes all of this worth it. The 9 to 5 mindset is a cage. It dictates when you wake up, when you eat, when you can see your family, and how much you are allowed to earn. It caps your potential. In the fractional model, the ceiling is removed. If you become ultra efficient, you can handle more clients, double your income without working double the hours. You can fire toxic clients, something you can rarely do with a toxic boss. You gain geographic freedom, temporal freedom, and financial autonomy. The career path of 2026 is not a ladder, it is a lattice. You will move sideways, diagonally, and across industries. You might spend 6 months going deep with one client, then shift to advisory roles for 3 others. You might take a month off because you aren't waiting for a manager to approve your PTO request. The transition won't be smooth for everyone. There will be a massive divide between those who cling to the sinking ship of traditional employment and those who build their own rafts. The company man or company woman is a dying breed. The corporations know it. They're already preparing for a workforce that is fluid, modular, and on demand. The question is, are you preparing for it? To survive the 2026 economy, you need to start today. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow. In fact, you shouldn't. You should use your current 9 to 5 as an angel investor for your future business. Use your evenings and weekends not to escape your life, but to build your exit ramp. Start identifying your superpower. What is the one thing you do better than anyone else? How can you package that? Who would pay for it? Start building your network now before you need it. Dig the well before you are thirsty. Connect with decision makers, not just peers. Share your knowledge publicly. The death of the 9 to 5 is not a tragedy. It is an evolution. It is the market correcting a century-long inefficiency in how human potential is utilized. It is scary, yes. The open ocean is always scarier than the harbor, but ships were not built to stay in the harbor. The future belongs to the sovereign professional. It belongs to the adaptable, the specialized, and the self-reliant. The alarm clock is ringing, but this time it's not waking you up for work. It's waking you up to reality. The safety you think you have is an illusion. The only real security in 2026 and beyond is the ability to generate value on your own terms. The gatekeepers are leaving, the walls are coming down. You are now the CEO of your own life. So the question remains, when the calendar turns to 2026, will you be a line item on someone else's budget waiting to be cut, or will you be a business of one, essential, diversified, and free? The choice is yours, but you have to make it now.